Good morning and welcome to Frontiers of Knowledge segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Wonders would never cease and nature would always be coming to the aid of the human beings. The only thing is that the scientists have to understand how to make use of it. And here you are. In Ohio, in USA, there's this university called University of Akron. And a physicist of that, Hunter King, has really understood a major secret. And that secret is so important in today's world that we marvel at that. And the secret is how to use birds, animals, insects to harvest water from thin air. Rainwater harvesting is there, but in the deserts, when you need water and there's no water, how to do? In southwestern Africa, arid wilderness deserts. The huge desert Namib is there, but there is a beetle there. They call it Namib desert beetle. And this beetle, the size of a blueberry, long length, is a winding body, very, and it takes water from air. What happens is it leans into the direction of the wind, letting droplets of fog accumulate and drip down the wing case around the mouth. Now, the scientists have been wondering how the droplets of water came, what attracted them. For years they have been doing it, and here Professor Hunter King understood it. When the Namibian desert beetle fog baths, it baths in the fog, water droplets hit the abdomen and roll over its body. And now Hunter King has seen the process. He has identified the chemicals that are coated on the body of this beetle, and they capture from thin air the droplets of water. So there's an attraction of these chemicals which attracts water even in a desert. And the texture of the body of the beetle is such that it is able to ensure that the water neither evaporates nor slips down in the sand. And slowly it comes to the mouth of the beetle and the beetle survives. What they did was they used 3D printing press to create several spheres with varying surface texture. Some were bumpy, some were grooved and smooth. And then they tested them in specially designed tunnel. A wind tunnel is sort of a wind tunnel in which the aircrafts are tested. And they found that the surface where fog magnets were there that attracted it. A sphere with a 1 millimeter lump on its surface called droplets, nearly 2.3 times the efficiency of a smooth surface. So they say that if minor robots can be made with the same texture and released in the air, they would absorb the water droplets even in the deserts, and inside the body would be a hollow canister. So these robots go up, accumulate water, come back, and that drops of water slowly and steadily accumulate. And then, they can upscale it. One very important factor was how to keep the surface lubricated. And then they found that there was a thin layer, microscopic texture, and that influenced the behavior of the droplets. And now they want to manipulate these properties to create more efficient drones, robots which can collect water from the arid zones, and the people who are parched, who are thirsty, can take water. A major issue today is water scarcity. There's water all around, as Coleridge says in his poem, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. Here, they'll be able to harvest water even when apparently there's no water in the arid zones. Desalination of the oceans is going on, but the process of collecting the water where it is needed, is much more important. Really, I feel that our horizons of knowledge are expanding exponentially. Could you imagine that the wind power can be liquefied and used when you need it most? There's always a peak time when more power is needed. And many times you need power in different places. You are running short of power, you need it. So how would you feel if power is supplied to you in a canister, in a box, in a bag? Don't be amazed, it's a fact. UK-based energy firm Highview, they have already started doing it. They convert wind power into freezing liquid. They allow the energy to be stored when it's specially needed, whether that during the peak hours or during a power outage. What they do is the wind is compressed, cooled, turned into a frozen liquid. And when the energy is required, the system uses the heat generated during the compression process to convert the liquid back into gas. So the energy of the wind converted into liquid, and the energy used for conversion is again used. So there's no wastage of energy. And they say, according to them, a traditional power plant in northern England would be able to offer energy to 25,000 houses. So if one power plant can give energy, and Northern Ireland doesn't have big power plants, you can well imagine there are about hundreds of power plants all over the country, all over the province. And the energy that is being used, you're not using it, that's going waste otherwise. So you convert the wind which is flowing into liquid, give it in the shape of LPG canisters, as they do in India. The huge canisters of LPG are given to the households. So that can be given, and the people can put it in their main box and use it as and when needed. Isn't it amazing? At least I was quite impressed, and I liked it. And then, we like beer, especially in the summers. But what about the waste products? When you make beers, hops and barley are used. And now the scientists have done something amazing. It's a lead scientist is Ahmed Osman in UK. And he has said that after beer is made, the waste products, the byproducts, can be converted into very high-end, very expensive, useful products. What are they? Activated carbon and carbon nanotubes. So you take beer, the waste product, which was a problem otherwise, how to use them, compost them, do whatever. And now they can produce activated carbon, which is very important for treating poison and filtering water. So, and secondly, low cost carbon would be there. But they're also going to use the waste products for producing carbon nanotubes. And the nanotubes are extremely useful for nanotechnologies, various applications in textiles, in medicine, in agriculture, name it, and the nanotubes are required. So cycling waste into valuable products would save tons of energy and money making these materials domestically. Now people import activated carbon. You don't have to do it. You can do it, and you also save energy. And that is what is required. And do you know the biggest problem with the ships, boats, canoes is that they can sink. Here in the University of Rochester, a scientist have developed a ship which is going to be the ship of the future. This is a metal array that doesn't sink. So the shapes, the boat will be made of this metal array. Even when their holes are made into this, they would not be able to sink it. So suppose it's a battleship, a torpedo is fired, a hole is made, or what happened in Titanic, an iceberg hit it, hole was made, it was full of water, and Titanic sank. But they say that you carve grooves in an aluminum disc, and these pockets trapped there form a protective barrier. Very amazing and very innovative. So air is there that is put into the aluminum grooves and it forms a protective barrier, and the water would come and slide off the metallic surface in addition to changing the word of the ship construction. So according to the scientists, this great invention, I won't call it discovery, is of great use. We hear news every day. This thought just came to me that the ocean levels are rising and the coastal cities are likely to sink. Why not make cities based on this process, the floating cities? If there can be a floating solar power station, as is being made in China, as is being made in Denmark, and the floating ships are there, why not the floating small towns near the coast? And that would be very useful. As a matter of fact, this is going to be extremely useful because the metal would be much cheaper than all the construction cost. If you remember the benefit now, it took 2.5 hours for Titanic to sink, just 2.5 hours. And what a waste of money and human life. So the unsinkable metal, if that had been used at that time, if it had been discovered, it would have prevented such a disaster. And then, since it can float even after being damaged and eventually punctured, I'm sure that they will do it. And then, they have developed a plane. This is avionics and Garmin and airplane manufacturer Cyrus and Piper. They have developed an enormous landing system which is simple enough to be used by non-pilots. So all of a sudden the problem is there. As a pilot, it has happened many times. Pilot had a medical emergency, he couldn't fly. So what happens is the passengers push one big red button, and this triggers the plane's safe return emergency auto land system. Plane identifies the nearest airport itself. Just a button is pushed, automatically it goes into operation, fail safe, and there's a safe flight plan, notify the air traffic controller, and completes it landing safely, no danger at all. And such technology would pay for autonomous air taxis in future. So you are going in a taxi, you want to land, you press a button and you land because the airplane would be able to identify where to land. And this safe return emergency system lets passengers hit a red button. And even if the pilot is unsafe, but then it's going to cost. It costs $2 million, and it is already stopped product started production, sorry, and they say by the end of this decade it would be used extensively. Really, I am amazed at these advances. Are you not really amazed? And if you are, we meet next week, same time. Thank you.